I'm Darshit Kenny. Today I have completed phase 1, phase 2 both of project 1. So my project is fully completed and it is with edge cases fully completed. Now let's check and understand how our code flows work uh, successfully and how our workflow means how our codes flow go from one to another. Let's explore the code and understanding the code with a problem statement which was given in the uh, which was given in the readme file. So here is a readme file. It is all about first of all we created blogging site mini project. So in phase 1 we need to do only create a API like to create a first of all we what we created we uh, to do entry in the database. First of all we need two models, author model and blogs model. In author model all the author detail will be present, and in the blog model all the blogs details is present. And for that we need to do create a schema. So here is a schema of blog models and author model. As per the condition we brought a schema. Here is a author schema in which we give first name, last name, title and email. In first name in first name string type string means if it accept only strings, not an array. And required to means this field is mandatory to be filled. And trim to it means before and afterward whatever the space will it trim function of mongoose will uh, remove that space from the word above and from the word from the last and first. In title is also accept strings and it is a mandatory also, but in a theater we uh, we do some validation like enum means it will only accept the value which is mentioned in a array of string. Means from these three value anyone can be means user can select from these three values only. Other value can't be accepted in title of author. And in email has type unique, type string, and it should be unique. Means it will not repeat in the database. So it is also a mandatory thing. So email will not allow to by same email user will not allow to register themselves. And required to means if you want to log in or if you want to register, user want to register means user means author. So it need to write email. It write email ID for that. And in password it means we use type string and require true. It is a normal means normal. And module dot export means we say to mongoose that hey mongoose create a model name with name author into author schema. Hey mongoose, create a model named author of author schema. So the model will be created and the model name is author. But when we see in the database, we can see authors. It will convert into authors. Means here this is the Avenger folder name. We keep the name, and here is you can see authors, and first letter will automatically in the small case convert, because this folder's meaning is also that in folder we have authors data. So the mongoose is do like this. So it is completed. Now let's move toward the blogger model. In blogger model, what we do, let's check. Here is a blog schema. In blog schema, we have so much validation, or so we try. Mm, here is a blog model, and as per this, we can see here, uh, we use, first of all we need a title, which title for blog, which is a mandatory. So we use a title, type string, require true and trim true, as per uh, earlier I said same as thing. In a body of blog we accept only string, and require true means user need to pass for body data mandatory. And author id, here is a author id. We use author id as a reference of the author model database, and we try to access here also. So we put type object id, and reference means author. This is the model name of author schema. And here one interesting thing is that here is we write object id, but it is not a same thing like string or array means object id. No, because it is not directly accessible. So we need to do is in object id, the object id is kept into the this folder, means in mongoose.schema, in the schema section, in the type function, means method, and in the types we have got object id, and that object id our motto to use. So we use object id here, type object id, because from here we allow. And in the function we use author id, text in array, category will be in string, and subcategory is also in array, because text means hashtag. User can also use multiple hashtag, it is possible. And how to conquer that all the problem, we we will cover, I will cover in the next section. uh, in here you can see that is published, type boolean and default false, means if user don't write publish, is published true, then what will happen? If user then it will automatically stored in the draft, as we see in the LinkedIn, or Facebook. If we don't publish, it will saved as a draft. Okay, got it. So here is also same thing. So we use default false, and type boolean means true or false आएगा, and this is the published date and deleted it. It is also some interesting thing. Means if user ad is published true, at the same time that timestamp will be created. Timestamp should be created at the same time of user will publish the that blog, and same as for deleted is deleted boolean and default false. And we need also two another data, updated it and created it. So as per the mongoose schema, here is a thing that timestamp true, and it will give us a two output. Means entry two entry in mongodb. One is timestamp true and second is in a timestamp true means in is updated and is created true. Okay, and we say that, hey mongoose, create a model name block of block schema. So these two parts are clear. Now our main project task is in the picture now. Now create an author. Create an author, at least 5 author, and create another document from request body. So let's try. Uh, Here is our author controller, and here are, you can see, here are so many conditions. So these are a validation, means edge cases. We can say that edge cases, and these are regex. Okay, and these are logic is the small, but validation is so many. And here we use regex and give that regex to the variable. In variable what should be in the picture, and now let's check here. So how the validation works? First of all, we try here, create author name, name Sanket. Title is Mr. Okay, and Sanket @gmail.com, and password is Sanket. Okay, now let's do some interesting thing. I cut out this object, and oh sorry, server is not started yet. Wait for some time to start the server. Now our server is connected successfully, and let's try author and see what is here. First name required, means here we, without doing any data, without doing means without writing any data, if user try to enter Let's check what happened. If here you can see that I don't write first name to check edge cases. So what the message throw? Status false, message first name required with the 400 request bed, means user need to add their first name first to create an entry of author, okay, to register as a author. So for this we use this all the validation. These all are keys like first name, last name, and title, email, and password that we want that user should fill mandatory in the form while registering their detail author. So it is a mandatory, and for that we use if data dot first name means either here is a data request dot body, all the body data will passed here, and from the here we check if data dot first name is not, if data dot first name is not present, this condition will run, because the data dot first name is not present, then it will zero, and zero is not and explanation mark will create a null, means marks reverse the false to true. So this condition will run. All these five conditions are written as for edge case. If user don't put any field while registering their form. So password can't be empty. Okay, now let's move toward the next edge cases. And first of all, I want to create. Uh, Here we can see that all the things are right, but now we want to edge, we want to check another edge cases also, means if a user first name is always in the string, but if user try this type, user means author, type this type of data in the first name, will it run or not? Obviously logically if we think it should not be run, and throw the error message to the user that please enter your first name in the string, means alphabetical number only. Let's check here what will happen. uh, Here is one mistake of my spelling mistake. Now check, first name has some property, visit our website, means here we need some changes in the message. First name should only contain alphabets, and the same condition we put here for the last name also, and here we use regex. It means regular expression. It is the easiest way to filter the data that what user do. If use here is a regex. This regex is for first name and last name, and this regex is used for email validation. Means in this regex we we restrict user to follow this condition. Means A to Z means uh, in uh, in first name field it can only run A to Z, means it can only add number A to Z, small or capital, and that length is 2 to 30. Is length is must be between 2 to 30. And in email regex is used for validation. If here is I changes some condition, first name, and here is the last name. Okay, if we try to write a name here, but in last name I only use K. So what will happen? Should it be run or not? Obviously not, because a length we have length in we restrict user to write length, means write last name in more than two length. So it should be throw message. See, last name should only contain alphabets and must be in between 2 to 30. Okay, these all are running better. And this is a email regex. Here we can see that. So now let's check toward the email. I write some. Okay, this is okay. Now in email I try to, means user, I am explain you to with the user's experience in a postman. Okay, so if user try to register with a false email, means in a not a valid format, invalid format of email user want to register. So here our edge case is should be run. Email is not in a valid format. Why? Because here we use this regex structure. In regex, if you notice that in first and last we start and close regex within these two forward slashes. Now this is our condition is run, this run, and now let's check duplicate entry. But before that, we enter our data first into the database. So now let's check here. Everything is fine and okay. And now I'm going to create an entry. Okay, means 200 status for 200 means our entry is successfully created in the database. Now I want to create a same detail with the same Gmail address. So will it allow me to enter? Means will it allow user to register with the same email ID? No, obviously we can see in the real world also. And this is the real world application here. Software I created. Now I one thing I forget to explain there this if you want to use a regex validation. So here is a syntax: data dot first name dot match. In match we apply regex. So before we store regex into the one variable, and this variable we use here in the dot match function. If this condition is true, means if doesn't match, so this condition will false, and this no is equal to convert it into true, and this will run successfully. So here is a syntax. And now uh, let's move to other duplicate. So as per this node should be entry should not be entry would not be created. Let's check here. Email already exists, means this our this edge case is run. How we find that? So if duplicate in I some enter, so we can we can see here key const duplicate store in the duplicate variable and await author model dot find one. Why find one? Because in database we have only one email id, so we know that we have only one document attached with the one email id, so we need no need to use find. So we use find here, find one here. Okay, and in email the key which is present in the document and data.email means the data which was received from the body. And if if we find and document will found, if document found means we have, means it means that we have one document with the same id. So this will throw as a one document, and so it will run if condition will run. If condition will run and rs dot false email id already exists, it will shows that. Okay, and now the last, the stage, which is our logic to create an entry in the database. If all the condition will fulfill, okay, and then our function is here, go here and check. Let's save await author model dot create data which we got from the requested body, and this data we shows in the postman, that our data is shows. And if any error occurs, any server error occurs while executing the code, we use try catch, so that is our server will our server has a our server can contain some advantage of not crashing. And now I showed you to one create entry, and this is our author model is completed. Now we move toward the post blog, but before that I want to explain this both thing at the same time parallelly. Now means shareable token authentication and authentication and authorization also. So in this we use a post for that. How to create a login? So in this author ID, now we move toward the phase 2 to login. Allow an author to log in with their email ID and password on a successful login attempt and return a JWT token containing the author ID. If the credentials are incorrect, return a suitable error message with a valid HTTP status code. Now let's move toward uh, these both I need for login, and for that I paste here also. Now you can see that you are successfully logged in. This message is with a 200k. Okay, this is true. And in addition, we have some different thing we got while logging first time. We got here X authentication token, which is generated by JWT token and is set to the header section. This is our new generated token here. Now we use this token in the all the APS for as of now, but generally this token is stored into the cookies of the browser, and that cookie, so every time hitting an API, the header from the cookies is will transfer to the server and check the condition. But as of now, we write we do we apply header token manually for as of now. And now let's check here what should be there. So this is successfully login, and if I want to, first of all I want to create a code also in this new controller. This is the login controller, means author login. In login, first of all we got first of all what should here applied. We got request and body. We got email ID and password from a body, and check if ID of email is if email is not present, then send the code. Send the error. Validation error means you not your email ID does not match, and password is not available, then provide we we will throw an error, means error message that your password is add password first. And here is if your email ID it is a logic, become mini logic of the program. And how with this program is run, let's move toward. So if I used wrong email ID, and let's check what will happen here. So your email ID or password is incorrect because the data of email ID and password of password means in the email key and password document of password which is present in the document, our database document. So and we got a email and password from the body. Both will check. If both match, then find one, present the document to us. Otherwise it will not present to us. And we got empty means null, and null means false. And this shows that if document is not exclamation mark used as a not, if not get, then return your email ID or password is incorrect. And in token, here we use JWT token. And what is the token in the role? So we need a header token to, first of all, without header we do the same thing, but we need means user need to do every time login. So it is the irritating process. So here is the JWT comes in the picture, and it is very useful so that your user no need to user no so no need to login, user no need to login again and again, because all the communication from the server and client is validated from the header only. Okay, so for that reason uh, token is used. And this is the for using the JWT token, we need to import library first. So we add npmi JWT token and imported that here. And we use a new control in, this is the new controller. And we use database queries also. So obviously this is need to import the author model here. And now let's check. This is let token JWT. This is the sign method. JWT token is made from three parts. One uh, one is a header, payload, and secret key. Secret key, and the secret key is only server has access of the secret key. So no anyone can find the perfect token. Anyone can see the data of the payload but not find the secret key. So it is the, so here the power of JWT is, we can we can feel that. And in payload what we attach, we payload, in the payload we attached that login user author ID, means login users user ID, means in this blog author ID, uh, what whoever login, then it will find. So after logging, the logged in data document will find to us, and this document has one author ID which was generated automatically by database, MongoDB database. So we use it because it will help us further in the to creating APIs. So we, how can we get author ID? So it is, I will explain you in a next API. So as of now, we created one token to use the jwt.sign method. Okay, all the things are completed. And now what, that token we send again from server to the client. We send server to client token, and this token will store into the body's header section. And after all the things will done successfully, our server shows user that you are successfully logged in. Enjoy. Okay, this all are new controller. This is completed. And now our real authentication and authorization is comes in the picture. And here the story of this all the project is will interesting. Now we need to create author blocks also. Sorry, author blocks nahi, we need to uh, create a blog post. But who will write blog post? Author, right? Who logged in, that can write a blog post. And all the blog post will created by its username who logged in already. Now let's move toward the blog controller, author controller. So now here is the all the things in the required. First of all, we communicate through database. So models are mandatory to import. So we imported two models. And require mongoose because we want to validate the object id. Means object id has a specific key, one specific manner. uh, so if we write something, anything, it will not run. So we validate object id by this is valid object id, and this is the parameter object id associate mongoose dot type of object id and valid id and object id. Now we create a block function. Means we can be creating one API. This API is the this type that our task is to create a blog post as we do the author, as we do for to create a register as an author. Same thing will apply here, but here is some type of some question. Let data is equal to request dot body, that all the post which will created, which will um, all the key and value we got is from postman's body we get here. And now this is valid object function. And now it is interesting more quite. So here if is valid object, and we can directly can do, but we cannot do directly data dot author id. So is valid object data dot author id. So return valid, not a valid author id. So but the author id is not needed for now for here. So I am commenting out these things. I am also commenting out these things because we use update by creating a blog. We incorporate tradition of means author defined by ID data. Here I do some, here I done some changes while we are recording video. So I need author ID, but in so I need a author ID, but author ID is not directly present in the blog. Okay, okay, because we only do some. Okay, here in requested body, in requested body, while creating an blog post, here is a blog post, create a blog. Here we do author ID also. So for that now in author section we find that author names. Okay, here we copy 5 6 and 5 6. uh, Web developer body Regex developer in text dev business in text category I am using IT. And in some category in social media as a designer. Now I am creating a blog. Now we want to create means user want to create a post. And then there his author ID. Okay, and it will create a successfully also. Is valid object is not defined. So here for that reason I do so. The first is created successfully. Here you can see created and updated it. Is deleted and is published by default false because I didn't write here. I didn't deleted false because it means it kept into the draft post. And now mm, if in header section, this is the normal validation. This is the normal blog post without any header. Now let's get with header section. X auth type. Here I some mistake here. Okay, now eliminating password is incorrect. Now you are successfully login and mm, we get a header here from X auth token. Now in the create blog in the X auth token and key is X auth token. If I write a wrong token here, I'm not authenticated. Here after a wrong token it should get got error but not got error because I didn't use author middleware here. Middleware is used for if we want some conditions that used if we want to if we want that only user login only login user logged in user can hit that API, then we restrict the API with the authentication like this authentication. It is a middleware. And after running this middle authentication done, our router handler will uh, our router handler will handle all the things. Now here is a wrong error I took. So in the block invalid signature, you can see that here, invalid signature means our token is not matching. So this error so thrown to view. Now let's try with original. And if we try this type of also, first of all I need to clear run node1 first. If run, I'm hitting API. So kindly add token means now Without authentication, it will not run. Before that, any author, anyone can create a blog, but here is a not need of authentication. Means if you log in user, it can create a blog. So I am not using. And here in Redmi section, use authorization, authentication scheduled for create a blog, protected routes are create a blog, edit a blog. Created blogs also is a protected routes. So sorry for that, but I need to write mandatory. This is created mistakenly because of we not using authentication one. What is actually done in method of middleware? Now let's look into that middleware. In middleware, we want that it will use it should use on the all the protected API I want to use. So if I don't create a middleware, I need to do write the code again and again in every API. So to save the effort, we use middleware. Middleware is an amazing thing that if it is all the things are okay on then and then only next will the next command next function means it forwarded the flow to the router handler, otherwise it will not give the flow and creates an error from here. So we checked here, kindly add a plugin and invalid signature both. So and now our jwt.verify will check that whether the token is valid or not. It has a valid signature. It will verify means it will decode the token and decode the token with project ID. If a token is right, then it will successfully decode it. Otherwise, it will throw an error of invalid signature. And after that, this is also one interesting thing. Request to decoded token means in a request to decoded token, we created one object in request. Dot decoded token is equal to decoded token means we want the data into the router handler also. So we use this. So we use this type of and we will use it into the our router handler as per our need. And the authentication too is made for authorization. Means if a user I will took a look at this after some time. Now in block control, block control dot data save data. Author ID is not present. If we no use author ID, it will in create block. We added some condition that find by data dot author ID. Condition means find by ID means data dot author IDs. So If here is some twist, if author model dot find my ID, data dot author ID is present, then it will give some document. Author models document will give, and if it will give, then we use data is published true. If a data is published true, data that is published true, then it will run data that is published, means it will also create while creating entry data was published at data dot now it will do let and then create a data with these entries also. Otherwise create data, save data. Otherwise without a published data it will create an entry. And if these all are not matching with, so please enter author id is not present. So it will give an error that author id is not present. You cannot create this document. You cannot create this document by this author id, and catch means author id is not present. In get blog we have used authentication word because we don't need to authorize because anyone can and see the post. So here in get blog, this is the get blog example. If I want to use category and work, here is a work. This is the another author's letter, but I can see it. No need to do anything new. Some authentication is required, but it is already true. And we did only some data which has dated false and is published true. In find these two conditions are match, we will get data of find. And here is also one is data means if any condition matches with this will in data we got an object. If without any do I is for is rated false and is published true, I gets I'm getting all the document which is rated false and is published true. It takes so either rated or not published because tag of useful is not in present. If I used to try with entertainment same, and if I use category and work means it has is rated false and is published true. And here is a code to find mm, if don't if if here we don't match any document, if here in database not match any document which we got in the query params and from the author id, so we here we use find, so it will, if not match with any document, so we will find, it will give us an empty array. So empty array dot length triple is equal to 0. If 0, then that means page not found. Otherwise, it means that page not found. Message either deleted or not published. Or third one possibility is also here. Is not is not available, either deleted or not published. It's okay. And if everything is okay, then array status true and the get data means all the blocks we show we can source here in third API. A third API is about updating block. In updating block, uh, we got block ID from get ID from params, and whatever you want to update in the data, in data. Now here you can see here get blocks. Now run. Now it is runs. Okay, got it. Now changes. Do some changes. Do some. It is run successfully in a update blog. So here in updating blog, we have some check blog ID, find by ID, get ID. It will give all the document which has the same ID of which has blog ID. It will find one document which has blog ID. It will find by ID and get ID. We can use find one also and check ID. If not check ID, it means if ID there, then check if is deleted false. Then we want update it. We update the data, otherwise will not. So here is a check find by ID and update. We need we get a function by get ID. We filter the data, all the data which we give from the params, and after that we update all the data which by is data is published true, is published at that now category, body, and text and subcategory by pushing them one by one. So we use dollar, and there is one problem that our data was go to the in the array format. So we once again let A and B. After updating, we try to do update a second time and do flat both side to remove array of array, and here and by that get id text A and B and neutral means we can get some new response. In response.status true message check to which we will get some successfully run, and this message If blog is already deleted, we can't update or is deleted. It is deleted, and if blog ID is not valid, then we check here. Not valid, we can say that please enter a valid blog ID. Here try by for remove. Okay, blog ID is not considering, but I try author ID to test error case, and now I run this query. Please enter a valid blog ID. Our case is run successfully, and if we try to update deleted blocks, is deleted false, and here is a deleted blog. In deleted blog, kindly add a blog. If in parameter blog ID, blog ID, and here is some condition. We cannot use another user's blog ID. It will show an error message that you are not authorized. Here is a common network. Kindly add a token. If not, an author ID and author ID will match here. And here, so see what is please enter valid blog ID. If now our second task is to try some blogs which are not related to this author. You are not authorized. Okay, so here, if we want to try some others blog ID, want to delete, so it will not delete it. And here is a some code is deleted false. If is deleted false, what we do by ID of blog ID, we set means updater is deleted true and deleted at that dot now and is published false. Color fix. So now we would do is published false and new true we shows the data. But in this case, we no need to show data message save. But personal, but if we think logically, we no need to show data to the user of the related blogs. If we want to delete one blog that we created by this author ID. Mm, in the blog section, here is a blog ID that I want to delete the blog. Now let's try. Oh, ho, ho. I will blog by ID. Uh, okay, I have different token. So it is shows me. So it is giving me error. Now you can check that do some changes or not, title changes or not. Now I want to change title to super developer. So here you can give super developer and title is Dev both times. Okay. And now in update I need to change the header from this to this, and I want to delete the block. Now you can author login. From author login I created this by control C and delete block. In header I paste it here, and this is the delete API, and although it shows not authorized, but here is the key of author ID C56, and now you can see that each deleted is equal to true, means the post is deleted successfully. And now delete by query. In delete by query I am doing this by now true, and by true updating this. And delete by query means category IT. I am trying to category IT. I want to trying to delete this no criteria matches. In header I need to change this to this. Now modified count to means I have two blocks post and that are deleted now, which is IT. Now let's check here and refresh that. Is it true? Is it true? I have only two documents which are is deleted means two documents are filed. It means our program is run successfully, and this is deleted by query. So in the deleted by query, Ubaran पण Shanti in the in this delete block completed, and now this is delete by query blocks. In delete by query block in common middleware we use some condition that block id we got here in authentication author for authorization, and from block id we catch author id, and that author id, and if we can't find anything, then we send the message to the user that please enter valid block id. And here is a token. Let token request dot header. In delete token request x authentication to we get token from the headers, and check if token is not available, then kindly send mirror message kind token, and if verify with the project block secret key, Then here is the main logic that if decoded author ID and get dot author ID means this author ID we got from the blog ID and this is from the token ID. If both are matches, then user is authorized, otherwise it will not authorized. And here is some in the code. Delete by query. Blog ID dot find and करके data author ID token. We find blog which here we find blocks which are belongs to that author. If any we can't find any blog from the authors, then we choose the meta normal criteria matches. And if find author means find generate author ID, find author. If we got any something, if we got any any blocks more than one or more than, then what we do, find blocks dot author ID. From that blog we catch author ID, and now we check recorded token dot author ID and find author dot author ID dot string is okay. Find author and the object ID we create in this string is okay. Then update many in decoded token author ID and is deleted false also, and is deleted true and deleted date dot now. Let all block ID update many means it will find this one which is which has only block which are not deleted false, and update all this into the true date dot now and return. If we can't find update any block means no blocks deleted, no blocks to be deleted, to be deleted, and send the all block in the message, and else author ID is not valid. It is not valid and catches error 500 create logs. And these all are my program. Okay, thank you.